Take a look at my life and realize it's not plain, but I've been perfect for an episode low. You know I shiva my mama, things like electronics go. At 4th never cross the morning, I'm milking the service. Jebba treat it like a chickens and Jacob, that's unheard. Fool, it better watch milking and plap. And where you bet you and your things split my mind and chart. I'ma really hate the land I'm in. Gotta low, gotta broke, I see my hand and a pistol smoke. But if I found the kind of my chores and homies wanna be, then tonight in the party like it's prayers in the shine. Spending most of their lives living Amish paradise. Butter wants their lives living Amish paradise. Working sack our lives living Amish paradise. Wilted dip our lives living Amish paradise. I got the situation me in the got me facing. I just never normal. And I praise about the cheek. I gotta be here. In fact, I would be. Cause I'll be television off when he's chasing dreams. But I ain't educated tourist even. Me on my mind. And 10 in my who, you know, him in my eyes. I know out buttons, but I can tripping bank. And my homies is down. I really lose my anger. Fool, that thing is that you'll be heartbeat. If we haven't like do it, phone billing. What can I say? But we 23 Wayne, so please never see there. We're waiting things are logically impaired. There's no lights, no me, not a sign luxury. Like runs and garage, it's as pretty as can be. Spending most of their lives living Amish paradise. Plain and simple lives living Amish paradise. Time for simple lives living Amish paradise. Fight we off our lives living Amish paradise. Power and the buggy, money and the butter. Minute after Monday, hour after nutter. Everybody's righteous, half of them ain't right. When I know them a million times as I don't know what's hard. Say I got the guy, the little bodies here to be like on my they can't understand. Night scoring, how can they got the life? I guess they vain and guess they won't, or else my front that's have to get me. Life is out of tiny. Spending most of their lives living Amish paradise. Crazy men, their lives living Amish paradise. Cops and trap our lives living Amish paradise. Probably think our lives living Jebba treated like a chickens and Jacob, that's unheard. Fool, it better watch milking and plap. And where you
911, what is your emergency?
Oh, God. Hello? Sir? It's my toilet. Elvis has died on it.
My name is Michael Dorst. In 1977, I got a phone call from Elvis. He said, "Hello, this is Fat Elvis. I'd like to hire you to assemble an elite task force to prevent me from dying on the toilet, which is the worst way to die according to the Bible. So what do you say?" The next day, I moved into Graceland.
One of the main obstacles we faced was that Elvis's house had over 100 toilets.
Elvis told us it was smart to have lots of toilets around because it was illegal for the police to arrest you if you were sitting on a toilet.
You have to understand, this wasn't young Elvis, whose favorite hobbies were not being Fat Elvis and having just one toilet. This was later Elvis, whose favorite hobbies were being Fat Elvis and always having hundreds of toilets. And he was paranoid and difficult to manage.
We wanted to minimize the amount of contact Elvis had with the toilets, so we came up with a solution to have someone else shit for Elvis.
Well, we essentially connected this guy to Elvis with a tube, and his job was to shit out whatever Elvis ate.
That guy went everywhere with Elvis. Eventually, he started to get a bit of a following.
He was signing autographs, and then he wrote a best-selling memoir.
Well, that made Elvis incredibly jealous, and he refused to let anyone shit for him after that. So we had to change our strategy.
I don't want to disrespect Mike, but his approach to the mission was, in my opinion, too rigid and failed to account for all the dangerous thrusting Elvis was doing around the toilets.
Over the years, Elvis's signature hip thrusting had fallen out of fashion. So he wanted to find a new body part to sexually thrust, and unfortunately, he chose his eyeballs.
Elvis would stand there, say, "Ooh, mama, I'm going to jail for kissing a hound dog," and then thrust his eyeballs out of his head and onto the floor.
Elvis was trying to recapture his youth. It was just sad, and also incredibly dangerous. You'd often slip out his eyeballs and fall headfirst into one of his many toilets.
I had my guys fishing Elvis out of toilets around the clock, and we actually had the situation relatively under control. And then the impersonators showed up.
Elvis returned from Las Vegas one time, having befriended a bunch of Elvis impersonators because they were the only people he could relate to at that point. And they would just be hanging around Graceland all the goddamn time, impersonating everything Elvis did.
If Elvis got a glass of water, the impersonators got a glass of water. If Elvis slipped on his eyeballs and fell in the toilet, the impersonators slipped on their eyeballs and fell in the toilet.
It was chaos.
Well, the impersonators made it very hard to keep track of which Elvis was the Elvis we were supposed to be keeping from dying on the toilet.
911, what is your emergency?
One day, I come around the corner and I see Elvis drowning headfirst in a toilet. So I initiate CPR.
I get there and Jim's doing chest compressions and screaming, "Don't you die on the toilet on me, Elvis."
All of a sudden, he starts breathing and he says, "Thank you very much. I'm not Elvis."
Meanwhile, the real Elvis had heard someone was dying in his house and figured the police might be coming to arrest him. So he started looking for a toilet to sit on, but all his toilets were being used by Elvis impersonators, impersonating the fake Elvis dying on the toilet.
So Elvis broke into his neighbor's house and sat on his toilet. And I guess he got hungry and decided to eat that Snickers bar.
Everyone knows not to eat Snickers on the toilet. It says so right on the packaging.
By the time we found him, it was too late.
It was a tragedy.
We had a mission and we failed.
I will never forgive myself for letting Elvis die in the toilet.
Falling in love with you.
Halloween is almost upon us now, so it's a perfect time to look at Dead Space 2. There have been a few, recent developments with this game, so I'll cover those too a bit. Dead Space 2 was a change of direction for the series, and it started with the marketing. If you saw my Dead Space 1 video, you'll know that I was kind of entranced by the trailer. It was slow and quiet, but then there'd be distorted violence. It has a clear intention of building up intrigue, so let's compare that to the Dead Space 2 trailer.
Oh my god! Oh gosh. I think it'll make a person become insane.
This game is an atrocity.
It's revolting. It's violent. It's everything you love in a game. And your mom's gonna hate it.
My mom? What?
Why would they even make something like this?
Dead Space 2, rated M for mature.
So they're marketing it to kids? Okay, I think you get the idea. In contrast to the first game, which was sold as a horror title, 2 is being sold as an action game. I've seen the progression of Dead Space games compared to Alien, and I think that's somewhat right. I'll touch more on that later, because I'm going to start off with the premise. After escaping the quadriplegic fiesta that was the Ishimura, Isaac's been picked up by the government. He's feeling guilty about the death of his girlfriend Nicole. As the intro shows, he was the one who encouraged her to go on the ship in the first place. You're then awoken by a brand new character. Well, he's brand new to most people. He's the main character of Dead Space Ignition, which was an interactive comic made before Dead Space 2 came out. So we have protagonists from 2 games here. That's kind of interesting. I wonder how they'll get along with each other. Oh my god, is he okay? There's a new necromorph outbreak. You have to escape it while still being strapped up in a straitjacket. You're on a space station known as the Sprawl. It's been built into the remains of Saturn's moon Titan. And unlike the first game, which was the aftermath of an outbreak, you're seeing it happen live this time. Your goals are pretty simple. get off the station, and find out what happened. If you haven't played the first game, the intro does a lot to recap you. There's also a handy video in the main menu that'll bring you up to speed. That's a good way to start a sequel. They could have had your rescuer not know what's going on and tag along a little. Isaac, what's a necromorph? Isaac, what's a marker? Where'd you come from, Isaac? They knew not to do that. While it's